We are back here with Fox 12 now, live from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. I'm Greg Nibbler, and we are live streaming here every weekday, starting at 1 o'clock, going throughout the afternoon, and we cover a wide range of topics. The topics of the wildfires in the state of Oregon and the West Coast in general has been something we've been covering extensively, and for all those folks in Central and Eastern Oregon, even now with the winds coming in and blowing that smoke back over everyone and fanning the flames, it is just such a struggle, and thousands of people are out there trying to fight those fires. And there's also, of course, many thousands of people who are having their homes threatened and who live in places where normally you'd probably have a lot of tourists going out. It's such a beautiful part of this state. But how are the fires affecting that? We're going to discuss that right now. We've got Daniel joining us from Sisters, and thank you very much for being here, to talk about this. And I want to start off by just having you tell us, about yourself and your business and place there in Sisters, and then we'll talk about how these fires have been affecting everything.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. My name is Daniel St. Lawrence. I'm the owner of the Barn in Sisters. It's a food truck hub, restaurant, live music venue, bar, community center, really. And we're open year round, but like so many Sisters businesses, we really make the year's revenue in the summer months, and that keeps us afloat throughout the rest of the year, serving the local community and the tourists and visitors alike. So last week, I think when we talked on Wednesday, or I guess we talked on Thursday, and Wednesday was a really intense day on the fire. It was moving really fast. The fire had been covering about 2.5 miles per day for a few days, and it had gotten to a really critical point on Indian Ford Road in Sisters, and a lot of houses where the evacuation notices were really changing quickly. And I know a lot of the firefighters were having to drop back off of Indian Ford and go back to their contingency lines, which is a pretty scary scenario. And they were really ready for a lot of fire to spread throughout all of the north neighborhoods in Sisters pretty quickly. So right around when that was happening, a big storm, one of those pyrocumulus clouds, kind of erupted, and there ended up being a lot of water that dropped in that storm, which was a huge blessing for the firefighters and homeowners and really everyone in the community. It allowed the firefighters to reposition and reestablish their containment lines and get more point protection, because at that time there was just more and more resources starting to pile in as kind of became the number one national priority for the fire. So it got a lot of attention as it needed, because it was moving really quickly and was impacting so many people in Sisters. And then, there's fires all over Central Oregon right now and Eastern Oregon. And so while it's really calmed down, and I'm really so grateful for all the effort that everyone has put into this and all the energy and prayers and support that people are sending our way. We're kind of out of the immediate danger zone, and now more communities in Madras, Warm Springs, Prineville. There's some really huge fires that are just continuing to rage. So while we're kind of out of the woods in this immediate moment in Sisters, there's still so much, and it's just the end of July. Normally fire season starts at the end of August or beginning of September. So it's
right, and this has
got
been
a long way
going.
to
go. So long to go, and and the fires started so early this year, and we kind of knew, with that drought, that it was going to be a bad one. But man, it is affecting so much of the land, the air, but these businesses, and what you're going through, like for you right now, what is it? I want to go into that just a little bit more about what that is like for you and for the community in Sisters, going through not only the worry and the scare of a fire potentially coming in, as you mentioned there in North Sisters, like that potential or whatever that could be, but also just for this loss of economic income, at an important time of year.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot to be ready for the tourist season and to be able to handle the inflow that we get. So, there's a lot of, you get staffed up and put a lot of energy all year to get ready to be able to really maximize and handle the kind of volume that we see in the summertime. And it's hard to downshift so quickly when something like that happens, where it's like all of a sudden there's immediate danger for real, but then the traffic kind of stops. There's a ton of decisions to be made about, you know, what is responsible to ask of your employees, what people are comfortable with, what can we afford as a business to do, what is the real danger versus fear danger. There's just a lot of things, to really hard decisions and considerations to take in, because ultimately in this line of work, people need to work to earn a living. And so we usually end up erring on the side of working with our employees and taking, if people need to work, we're going to do everything we can to be open and serve people. And if people do not feel comfortable coming to work, then we, honor that as well. So we kind of just scrap together and do what we can to keep our doors open and make it through these hard moments. Because knowing, once the fire season comes in, depending on where the wind is blowing and what fire is blowing from where, we could get even worse smoke. Some of the worst smoke we've had has come from over the mountains and into Sisters area, and the fires were actually a lot further away than what we experienced just
Yeah.
this last week, where we had some smoke, but we've had worse smoke in Sisters when fires have been further away. So it's kind of strange, how it affects us, and it definitely is. The effect is growing every year as fire season gets longer and longer. That part is hard to grapple with, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and absolutely, and you're right. Depending on the wind shift of where the smoke's coming from, it could be all over the place, even with that fire right next to you. And it
Yeah.
seems like, is this something where you see the people in the sisters in? Is this something where you see the people in sisters coming together as a community? And what's the message you would like to get to some of the people that would ordinarily be over there on a vacation or taking a couple of days, going there and spending their money?
Yeah, I mean, Sisters is open, and we're, everyone in Sisters is ready for you. It's safe. People are it's business as usual right now for the most part. The fire isn't totally is contained in a way where Sisters is not threatened. There's no fear of that at this moment. And the businesses really need support from people that travel through and make it a part of their summer, like they have for their annual pilgrimage for so many years, which is what so many people have memories of Sisters being for their families. So we're open, we're ready to serve those coming through, and obviously check in the webcams, and the Sisters has some great resources for being able to check in on the webcams through ODOT and see what it's actually looking like on the ground level. But if you're passing through, definitely stop in and support the businesses, because we're hurting this year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else that you would want to share with everybody? I mean,
Um,
from your side.
oh no, I'm just I have an immense amount of gratitude for the people that have put their life on their line to save people's homes and lives, and it's a tremendous effort that it takes to keep people safe through these kinds of natural disasters that are happening. And I just have an immense amount of gratitude for everyone that's put their life on the line to protect our community and those out there that are still fighting. It's a really noble thing you all are doing. So thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate your time, and thanks for holding on out there. And I want to get now. I really want to get to Sisters. I love the town of Sisters. It's so much fun, any time of year. But yeah, it's just important for people to remember and get out there. So thank you, Daniel, for having time to talk to us. And
Appreciate it.
best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
And for everybody watching, we are live here out of the newsroom. As I mentioned before, we've been covering wildfires extensively here. We're actually going to be talking about another area getting hit, Warm Springs, right down the road, really, essentially. And we're going to talk about how volunteers are helping out there and some different needs that they have. So we'll continue this coverage here. Thanks for joining us. And we are live streaming whatever platform you're watching on. Thanks for doing so. We're here every weekday at 1 o'clock. We'll take a quick break. We'll reset. We'll come back with more Fox 12 Now.